I'm going to have a look at a bit of Macbeth revision now. In this video, we're going to look at the main themes, and I'm also going to put some of the quotes that you can use as examples for those themes. Ambition and the consequences of ambition are a really important theme in this play. Macbeth's unchecked ambition drives events. His desire for power and the throne leads him to commit regicide and descend into tyranny. The play examines corrupting influence of unbridled ambition and the devastating consequences it can have on individuals and society. In Act 1, Scene 7, Macbeth says, "I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which overlaps itself and falls on the other." Here he is reflecting on his ambitious desire to become king. He acknowledges that his only motivation is ambition, which can lead to his downfall. And then, or earlier on, in fact, in Act 1, Scene 4, he said, "Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires." So here he is contemplating his dark aspiration. He wants to hide his ambitious thoughts from others, revealing his growing internal conflict. Power and corruption. So as a result of that ambition, Macbeth gains power and he becomes increasingly corrupted by it. The play portrays how the pursuit and attainment of power can lead to moral decay, manipulation, and a disregard for ethics and principles. He's already killed somebody to get there. The character's quest for power exposes the dark underbelly of political ambition. In Act 2, Scene 2, after killing Duncan, Macbeth says, "Will all great Neptune's oceans wash this blood clean from my hand? No. This, my hand, will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine." So here he is realising the enormity of his crime and imagining the staining of the seas with the blood. This represents the irreparable nature of his actions. This Act 2, Scene 2. And Act 3, Scene 2, Lady Macbeth says, "What's done is done." So here she is advising Macbeth to accept their actions and move forward. This quote illustrates her willingness to embrace their newfound power and disregard the consequences. However, that doesn't last. The theme of guilt and conscience, both Macbeth and Lady Macbeth grapple with overwhelming guilt after the murder. Their guilt manifests in various ways, highlighting the psychological toll of their actions. And the theme of guilt underscores the idea that remorse and conscience can't easily be suppressed. So by Act 5, Scene 5, right at the end of the play, we've got Macbeth really feeling the consequences and the guilt. Out, out, brief candle, life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. Here he is reflecting on the insignificance of his life and the profound guilt that he feels. The metaphor, a brief candle, symbolises life's fleeting nature. And then in Act 5, Scene 1, we have Lady Macbeth sleepwalking. "Here's the smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand." She's revealing her persistent guilt over Duncan's murder. The metaphor of perfume emphasises her inability to cleanse her conscience. Fate and free will is a really important central theme of this play. The prophecies of the witches suggest a predetermined fate, and yet the choices the characters make and their actions also shape their destinies. And there's this tension between these two forces, raising questions about the extent to which characters are in control of their own lives. There's this lovely quote from Banquo in Act 1, Scene 3. "If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me." So here he's challenging the witches' prophecies, highlighting the uncertainty of fate. He questions their ability to predict the future accurately. And then, right at the end, Act 5, Scene 8, we have Macbeth. "I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet." And to be baited with a rebel's curse. So here he's refusing to surrender to fate, Macbeth is, and he resolves to fight against Malcolm's forces. The idea of rejecting the prophecy doesn't go well for him, but he tries to reject this prophecy. Appearance versus reality. So throughout the play, things are not what they seem. Characters wear figurative masks to disguise themselves, to deceive others, and there is this distinction between truth and illusion, and it becomes really blurred, especially with a lot of the characters seeing things and dreaming out loud and things. This theme underscores the danger of relying solely on appearances and the difficulty of discerning reality. In Act 1, Scene 4, Duncan says, "There's no art to find the mind's constructions in the face." He's acknowledging here the outward appearance can be deceptive. He reflects on the difficulty of discerning a person's true intentions. And then we have Macbeth later on in Act 1 in Scene 7. He says, "False face must hide what the false heart doth know." So here he's thinking about the necessity of disguising his true intentions, highlighting the contrast between his external demeanour and his internal thoughts, so his exterior and his interior. The last theme we're going to look at here is supernatural. The presence of the witches and the supernatural element is a key theme. The witches' prophecies and the apparitions they conjure influence Macbeth's decisions, and add an eerie, foreboding atmosphere to the play. The supernatural heightens the sense of mystery and unpredictability. And if you look at the context video, you'll understand that supernatural things were actually really quite important at the time as well. So have a look at that video to see what I'm talking about there. We start straight away, Act 1, Scene 1, with the witches chanting. Fair is foul and foul is fair. And this establishes a theme of supernatural and the disruption of moral norms. The reversal of values reflects the play's eerie atmosphere. And then in Act 4, Scene 1, we have the witches sensing Macbeth's approach. "By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes," calling him wicked and calling him something. So these cryptic words enhance the atmosphere of a foreboding and the supernatural influence. For more Shakespeare revision, subscribe to this channel. There'll be new videos out every week, and check out the playlists linked below.